Hello. It's a new day, or closer toward the end of a day. I guess it depends where you live. Why am I sing-song? I don't know. It's, what is it, Thursday? Thursday. And boy, am I tired. Well, I mean, I'm not tired, I'm just, I don't know. It's been a day. Last night was busy with work, and I was up a little bit later to get some stuff done. But it's all good. Why am I yammering? Let's change scenes. Look at that. I'll leave it on for a while in case Desert or Goddess come online so you can see it. Check that out. Came out really nice, right? Oh, hey Desert, welcome in. Right? I'm happy with it. It came out quite nice. I'm very happy with all the colors, all the textures, all the bubbles, just tons of bubbles. Let me lift it. And just like Goddess had noticed the other day, there are some shimmers where the plastic had touched it, and it kind of flattened and made the bubbles go away, but it put some kind of like shards kind of look into it. And I probably should have done that for the last layer, the bigger bubbles, because I found that they didn't do any flattening of any kind, and the bubbles kind of like stayed risen. Like instead of flattening, they were kind of more textured. I'm not entirely sure if that's all that caused it, or if it was too much ink or whatever. I don't know, but it's not bad. It just made it irregular, and irregular can be good. It was pretty good. I like it. But yeah, man, all these colors, it's a lot. It's all over the place. More abstract, less nebula. So I'm not gonna add anything more to it. I'm not gonna add any stars to it. I'll let this be its own thing. because I don't want to take away from what's already there. I think that would take away from it, so I'm going to leave it. But yeah, it definitely is. It's one of my new favorite techniques, working with bubbles, soap bubbles. It came out really cool. Very happy with that. I'll leave it out for a little bit. You can sit there and look at it while we jibber jabber. The other thing we're going to do, the main thing I'm working on today is going to be this. Hi, Goddess, welcome in. We were just looking at how this came out. If I can get my fingers under it and lift it. Yeah, this came out super cool. After it was dry, I peeled it off the block the other day because it didn't need to stay on there. I figured I could do that on my own. Yeah, came out really nice. Really like it. I'll scan it in sometime, I don't know, this week or this weekend, and get a good digital representation, and then I'll put it in a frame. I've got a couple down here. I have to open them up. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll scan them first, and I'll put it in a frame just to keep it flat. Because I don't have anything big enough to, like, portfolio-wise, to put things this big into to keep them safe. So for now, it's going to have to be a frame. So, but yeah, super happy with how this came out. Today, I'm going to put this back over here. I don't intend to do anything splashy and messy today, so I think this can stay back here and be safe. I'll put it back there. Chances are this is all I'm going to be working on today. May not feel like much, but we'll see. I do have the other dragon we can look at, potentially, if there's time. This guy. If we want to do the same kind of thing we did here and start it off, we can look at this. Goddess, I saw your suggestion from earlier, from Monday that you put down there about adding a fairy to a dragon. I think since this is a more mythical dragon and this one back here is a more Chinese dragon, a fairy makes a little bit more sense in a mythical setting than a Chinese kind of fable or mythology. So I think I will look at putting a fairy in here. And considering the way the dragon is looking, it kind of makes sense to put a fairy in front of his face or something. Like she's booping him on the nose, telling him off, "You're not gonna miss my friends," something like that. So I think I may try to look for some designs for fairies and see about sketching something in there so that we can paint it too. Won't be huge, but it'll be there. It'll be fairy sized. So yeah, we'll come back to this guy. This absolute Chad of a dragon. We'll put him up. But this, I have been waiting days to peel this. I've been wanting to do it. I clearly see that there's some spots where some of the paint went over the bounds of where my tape was. And it's funny because on Monday I was like, I'm putting too much tape on here. There's no way I'm going to hit all of that. And clearly I overlapped a little bit and I shouldn't have. But it's fine. Mistakes, I guess, are part of the process. We'll just let that ride. These little pieces that'll remain, we'll do something with it, or we'll just let it sit there. We'll figure something out when the time comes. But I want to peel this. And I also have, hang on, here. Let go. Oh, it undid the thingies right here. Go back. Do what I want. Okay. I've got my eraser, because in addition to the tape, I've also got some of the masking fluid, and finger is sometimes good to get it rubbed off of there, but if not, then I can use an eraser and it should be pretty good at pulling it away. So let's peel some of this and hope that it doesn't all come up. We'll see. Okay. Fascinating. Well, it did the thing that weirdly it did the thing that some of the tape stuff does. Wow, we're gonna see how this goes when it gets to underneath. I might have messed some things up, or we're just gonna paint over it and run with it. You remember the mineral paper Aurora painting we did, and we pulled the tape away from the mountain line, and it put all that mountain texture on there? Yeah, it's starting to do that already on the very first piece that I peeled right here. It clearly got paint underneath it. So we're gonna pull this all up and see how it goes. I wonder if it's because of the soap. Maybe it made it open up, like the pores or something underneath. We'll see. It's interesting and terrifying because I'm afraid I'm gonna like rip the paper or something silly, or we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ah, yes, exactly like that. I'm pulling paper up, and I think I need to go slower when I get to some of the stickier areas. I'll take my time. Could be because I let it sit too long. But painter's tape is usually really good. But if I let it sit too long when it's dry, I can see it might have stuck to the paint a little bit much. Let's see. And I am amazed that so much of the paint seeps through. Oh my god, this is terrifying. Okay. That's some of the masking fluid coming up. Did somebody get under that? Oh no, that's just a piece of tape. Okay. Here. All these little side pieces of tape up. Well, you know what this tells me? It's not done being peeled yet, but based on the colors and based on the kind of design that it's made, I might be able to make it go in like an electrical route, like a lightning dragon or something. Let's finish peeling it, and then we can make a decision. I say finish, there's so much left to peel. I'm doing like the outer area, but there's like all of the in-between stuff I have to figure out. Okay. What are you? It's peeling up some of the paper. So some of the drawing of the dragon is coming up with it. But it's okay. We'll make do with what we have. So much tape. I've never tried masking so much area before. Like, I've only ever masked like the edges of the paper, and then on that one painting with the circles where we did like all the little cross hatching. Wild. I've always had so much luck with the masking or the painter's tape, but I don't feel like it's really sticking so much to the paper. I think it's sticking to the paint that got underneath it, or the ink. And to be fair, I've never masked using the watercolor inks either. Oh shit. You know what? One of the one of the paints that I used, I think, was an acrylic. I think all of the blue I think all the blue ones were watercolor. I don't know. I'll have to take them out and double check. I wonder if that might have been the problem. Maybe one was acrylic, and so maybe it doesn't come off of that too well. Or maybe it was just a huge conglomeration of different things and some of them don't play well together. Okay. Whatever the stitch, we'll figure it out. Does Elmer's glue work as a mask? I really don't know. I've never used it before. I'd be afraid that it would do a similar thing and it would want to adhere to the paper and the fibers in it and just never want to come up again. But I really don't know without trying. Now we're getting to a problem. This section right here does not want to come up. I can't find an edge, but I know that there's tape there. Nope, there's a piece right there. I'm just going to have to be really slow and methodical with this bit. Man, it's amazing all the color it lets slip in. I guess that's potentially part of the problem too, because it's the watercolor inks. Maybe they're a little bit more liquid than the watercolor is sometimes. I don't really know. I think it's just it wasn't because it was so much irregular tape. You know what I mean? That like so much irregularity and pieces being put down that it couldn't ever really protect all the access points of getting inside the getting down to the bottom of it. Yeah. I think that might be all the tape. Really quick. Oof. Jeez, it's coming off my fingers. I'm gonna have to wash my hands in a minute. My finger's coming back blue. Cheers. Yeah, it really Tore into his mouth a little bit right there. Let's see what we can take care of with this, if anything. Geez, I'm shaking everything. I was turning my eraser blue. The same thing that was getting my finger. So striking on multiple levels. Let me grab my garbage can so I can brush all this away. Man, it took no time to get a spam message in there. You know, I'm gonna have to go in and turn on like the follower only chat. I may have to go mess with the settings later and do that. Okay. Grief. I'm gonna have to clean the whole surface off too. Put on Automod. It works great. I don't even know where that is. I've never looked. Where is that? Under streaming tools, settings. I've never really looked. Automod. Is it a feature in like Streamlabs Elements or Stream Elements? I mean, I would love to stop that. There's moderation. Automod rule sets. Automod rule sets. Is it turned on? Verification, no. No. Alert, no. I don't care about that. No. Phone verification. All users must have a verified phone number to follow? What kind of heinous asshole would turn that on? Anyway, sorry. Just absolute ass. Okay, let's read. There's follower only mode. Moderator tools and chat, pin message. Well, I see. It almost looks like it's on already. I mean, up on the top of Automod controls, it says Automod rule sets, and it says level 2 some moderation. There's blocked terms and phrases, which is probably whatever the automatic stuff is. Permitted terms and phrases. Automod rule sets. Let's read it. Your Automod settings. Smart detection. Beta. Messages that are highly likely to be deleted by moderators or lead to timeouts and bans will be held for review. Likely messages only. No filtering. Likely and possible messages. I guess I can do likely and possible. Harassment. Oh my god, there's so many rules here. I'll probably have to go through this later. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get this all done now, but I'll look for it. If it could just be spam messages detection. That would be great if that's what it was actually just showing me. But I'll look for that later. I'll do some Googling. Go to blocked terms and phrases and add viewers and cheap. Oh, okay. So it's probably there and already on. It's just a matter of actually going through and like putting in the terms I want to block. Okay, I'll look at that later then. Now that I know what I'm looking for. Okay. I will say, the more I look at this, the more I like how all of the little lines that it made look kind of like lightning or electricity or whatever. Lightning bolts. If I enhance that, I think that probably look pretty cool. Okay. Let's see if there's any more. Just do a very light once over anywhere I might have put some of the, you know, the word. This stuff. My brain is just stupid. Masking fluid. Yeah, why do I always... I just have a block against the word masking fluid. I wish I could say it was just that. I'm just not always that observant. I think that's not tape. No, that's just it. A huge amount of it leaked under. There's nothing to erase. There's none of the masking fluid there. Ah, there was a bunch right there. That took care of that bit. At least some of it was protected. I don't want to go nuts because I'll erase all the pretty paint that we put on here. Ah, right there as well, between the legs. Holy hell, what a mess this made. Okay. Feels pretty smooth now. I think I got all the craziness off of it. All the texture that remains is from the paint. So let me put this to the side and get it safe. We'll bring it back in a second. Let me clean this surface off because it went crazy. Crazy. I need... Okay, let me scooch my garbage can out of the way. Let me get some alcohol. That's awesome. Thank you. I think it'll look really good once we can tweak it and work on it some more. See if that's enough. Very least, this hopefully will like make it all clumped together to make it easier to wipe off. Boop, boop. Her Discord. Probably somebody coming online. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't know at all what the system requirements are of the tool that I use for streaming. I wanted to go back over it and let you know about it, Goddess. So there is oh that was you. You left a list of words you have blocked in Discord. Oh, that's super helpful. Thank you. Oh, I'll totally use that. Thank you. That'll save a lot of time. And then I'll look for stupid, silly things that pop into that I want to add to it. I wanted to share a different app for you that you might want to look at. I know it's an ordeal to go through and try to start like a whole new streaming program, but if you ever have any free time, you might want to look at it and see if it at least runs on your Mac. The one I'm using is called Meld Studio, MELD Studio. and they made it for Apple Silicon first. And then they released it for Windows, which is what I'm using it on. So my version might be a little bit behind what Mac users can use. Excuse me. But I was thinking maybe there's a potential, possibly, that maybe it might be more stable on Apple Silicon than OBS. I don't know. It might not be because it's newer. Maybe it uses more resources and it might be worse for you. I really don't know. But I just wanted to bring up the possibility. It apparently has the ability to import all of your settings from OBS. So you could at least do it without like any harm and just experiment with trying a tool that maybe it'll make your streams smoother without a whole lot of effort and like new computers right away. Just a thought. It may be garbage. It may totally not work for you. But just I was thinking about it the other day when you were having some stream sluggishness that people were talking about. I'm wondering maybe that will help. I don't know if it will or not, but just something to consider. Taking a minute to clean up, but we're getting there. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And they've got amazing support. I think because their app is still like technically in beta, it's like version like 0.9.1 point something. So it's like they're really close to releasing like the full non-beta version. But what they have out there is completely open and available to use, and their support is through a Discord channel. They've been great. I actually had some issues when I was starting out with it where it wasn't working right. I think I had mentioned it like a couple months back. They were super cool in like looking at the logs with me and helping figure out what was causing my issues and cleared it up. And they're really responsive, so they're a pretty cool group of people. But still, I mean, it may or may not work. But I just want to float possibilities out there. And it's pretty straightforward and streamlined for what we do. It seems like it's a little bit like easier to control. But my other half tried using it on Windows, and it was not as easy to use because he was trying to mainly do like for gaming, and it was a little bit more difficult when it came to like adding like your game source. But again, that was in Windows. I don't know how much better that might be on a Mac. I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding, right? You only really know once you use it. So we may have to just give it a whirl. Might be garbage and not work at all, and you'll just never go back to it. Just I'm yammering. Sorry. Let's move this back over here. Okay. Well, I mean, if we ignore everywhere that it leaked out from the tape where it shouldn't have gone, the texture for the scales and everything looks really cool. Let's focus. Yeah, look at that, especially right there on the top right. I mean, it looks like scales, doesn't it? That came out so cool. I think putting the color down first and then ending with that silver metallic made the silver metallic flow into all of the cracks where the edge of the bubbles were, and it like coaxed the other colors inward in a way that made it look even more like scales. Like it came out incredibly well. What a way to make a scale texture. That was super cool. And I was thinking about that too, like the size of it is really in relation to the size of the bubbles that were made. So I was thinking I might go through and yeah, right? Like that it came out so cool looking. And what a cool looking multicolored dragon texture that is. If it wasn't for all of the extra side stuff that leaked everywhere else, which maybe we can thin it out, maybe we'll just add some really faint color around it. We'll see when we get there. We'll figure it out here in a minute. The head is probably going to be the weirdest part for me to figure out how to paint since you can see the tape went right across the center of his mouth and kind of ripped away some of the color there, but we'll make it work. Maybe that's a bolt of lightning in his mouth or something, or that's about to erupt from his face. We'll lean into it. But yeah, I was thinking that for the bubbles, see, it truly looks like electricity going around him, so I'm just gonna lean into that and let that be what it is, and maybe put like a really faint blue, like really faint, like glowing around the edges of it. We'll see as we paint him in. But I'm thinking for scale texture, I might do really small bubbles, and really focus on maybe like using a large container with a small amount, like a good amount of soap and a small amount of water, and just really hit it in the sink with a spray and make it make as many very small fine bubbles as possible. I have a milk frother. I might have to use that to help whip it up and make smaller bubbles too. But I don't want it to be like foam. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to experiment and find like a way to make bubbles that are between the size that I did and too small. Something in the middle that I can make consistently and make a lot of, so I can really just make it in the sink, have a bunch of bubbles, bring it over here, slop it on the paper, hit it with the ink right away. Don't let it sit. Don't sit here and try to blow into it with a straw. Just something that I can do that's repeatable. I may even bring the milk frother over and use a glass or a big container or something of soapy water and make it like with the machine instead of me trying to do it with the straw, because the straw did huge bubbles. It also made it really difficult to pick any of it up because the bubbles were popping like crazy and I had to just scoop and scoop and scoop until it hit it, which is probably also where part of my problem came from here. And just this was mostly water. It just leaked everywhere and it dragged the ink with it. And there was no choice but for it to go everywhere. So that's probably what happened. But still, things happen for a reason. Let's get some paint. I have over here. Oh, open already. There we go. My normal paint palette set. Well, let me put the alcohol up. Oof. Oh, go there. Let's grab some more coffee. I think this got tilted a little bit. Everything's shifted a little bit. Nope, that's the wrong direction. This way? Yeah, that's a little bit more even. There we go. Must have bumped it. Okay. Anywho, let's get our water over here. Well, actually, let's wet the palette down. I need to refill some of these. They're starting to get a little low. That red up here starting to get kind of low. The violet up there. This yellow. Yeah, I'll top them off. You know, when they start getting to the point where I don't have enough to use, I'll go back and refill. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Get some water. When it comes to brushes, I'll probably start with like a good medium small, a 6, size 6 round. Now, planning. We already have our base color palette, simply from the scales that we've already done. We know he's going to be more on the electric side. So I guess the first question for a large area that needs to be done on him is his belly. These ringed shaped items here. So I think if I consider reptiles, snakes, lizards, things of that nature, their bellies tend to be lighter in color. Like whatever their color palette, their color spectrum is, palette, they're not paint, they're creatures. I should probably pick a color that's on on him and do a lightly fainter version of it to start, going along the whole belly region. And then maybe look at shadows after that. And then start looking probably at the like horns and the hair, I guess this is. Scales, the big scaly things coming off his back. Whatever that might be. And they'll figure out the talons and everything, figure out the face, and then figure out the gaps between, if anything. So I'm thinking if we were to put any color between the lightning, the electricity, it would probably be like a very, very pale blue color. And I am hesitant to do a similar pale blue on his belly. So perhaps, maybe, since the color around him is mostly the blue color with a little bit of the red, maybe I do like a pale pink. I wonder what that would look like. Let's get a scratch piece of paper. Yeah, we've got this one that we did. Is there anything on the back of it? That's the one that the mouse was on, yeah. I'll just add to this guy. Let's put this up here for a moment and have our little scratch piece and start doing some experimentation with some colors. So, when it comes to reds, that was more of a magenta type color. So I'm thinking we maybe start with a little bit of this. That's one possibility. Pick a blue. The other color that's on him is silver, which I don't have without pulling out the exact same liquid inks. If I did silver on his stomach, it might be too powerful, and it might take away from the colors on his back. I don't want to take away from that pop of silver. I'm afraid it would be too much, so I'm not even going to entertain that. But gray is a possibility. Dark. So we've got, turn this. So we have a pale pink color. We have our light blue color. We have like a medium gray. We have a light gray, which I'm honestly leaning toward the light gray. It's very neutral. It doesn't take away from the pop of color on the back. It, I think, enhances it because it's almost an opposite color from anything that's on there. I'm thinking the light gray on the belly might make sense. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Start light gray and then darken as needed for shadowy areas. Downside being, I think, with shadow going gray and black, I think it's going to make shadows stand out more. Somehow I noticed that with using all the other colors, it seems like you can make a shadow look like it's meant to be there and it blends in better when it's like a dark blue on a lighter blue. It kind of blends and looks better. But when you start using black and shades of black, it just goes weird. That's something to consider too. Maybe we look at a blend of black and indigo, because that'll give at least a hint of some bluish color to it. I know I could just get the heat gun out, but I'm blowing on it like an idiot. Um, so there's gray, or like a black and indigo mixture. And then there's at the end just pure indigo, just lighter. So the pure indigo is too much, it pushes it in a different direction. But the blend, maybe? Instead of it being just gray, maybe the mixture of the grayish color and the indigo? Hot. Thinking gray. The only reason I say that is because I might end up doing a lot of shades of gray for all the rest of his colors to let his back shine. If I put too many colors in the rest of him, it'll just make the back colors not important, and it won't be as unique, I think. So I think I'm going to go with a very, very light gray um, all over his whole belly area, and then hit it where it might look like it needs some shadows, and then go from there. Now, I guess that means I should probably pre-mix some black. Let me just hit a bunch of water in here. Turned it a color because there was stuff on there on the corner of it already. Get that back up and try that again. Too faint. Still too faint. There we go. That's better. Over Dragon? Yes! Alright. So, I don't know how much the stuff that's on here is going to bleed. So I'm not going to try to wipe over it over and over too much, because I think it might pull some of that color away in a weird way. Let's just hit it. Just try to be gentle about it. And that's where it turns upside down in a weird way. Then it becomes shadow. Question of shadow. What direction do the shadows need to come from? Well, right here made sense because the body above it could be casting a shadow on itself right here, right? But then that means the body here should be creating its own shadow simply because it's underneath. So I guess we can assume that the light is hitting it from almost straight down, and that'll make my brain easier for figuring out depth and shadows is already difficult for me. So I'm probably just gonna kind of go with that. So bottom side of anything that's directly down, so like here, should be darker. This should be lit because there's hardly anything hitting it. This is lit just because what's above it can cast a shadow on it. No way. A little bit right here as well. We might have a hole into this area, and I didn't mean to. Okay. He's got a silver belly. The claw areas. I want the claws to be a little bit more obvious, so I think I might start them gray on the edges and pull toward the tips being more of a more black color, perhaps? Or maybe we hit it with like the blue, or maybe black to the end of the flesh part and then make the claws red. That'd be kind of neat. But then I'd kind of want it to be that exact color. Let me see. This one. Yeah. Doubt I'll use it, but here's the silver just in case. And then brown. So the phthalo blue, so if we use it. But this quinacridone magenta, I'm going to put a little bit of the pure color into one of these wells right here. Because if I use it for the little claw tips, then I want it to be matching the magenta on the back as much as possible. Definitely not going to need that much, but hey, it's there. I'll pull some, but I doubt I'm going to use this. I'll just get a little bit of all the things that I used to make it up. And our blue. Okay. All right. So let's figure out the claws. Right here. The arm is right there. There's another set of claws here that's almost completely covered from the residue left behind from the tape. But let's hit the one here. So if we think it through, It should start with the same color as the belly because it's coming out from the belly side, right? So let's start with a little bit of the gray. That way you can barely see because everything else is on top of it. And I'm gonna bring it up just to like the first claw area. The first knuckle, if you will. And then let's hit a little bit darker. Actually, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I want to do the gray color right to the edge, but I want it to be fairly wet. Not the claw tip, but the end of the knuckle. Because you need to be able to darken it, like I said. Just on the ends. Maybe hit it with a little bit of silver. Nice bit of the blue, maybe. And then I'm going to be smart. I'm going to do the other claws, and I'm going to leave the tips of these alone, and I'm going to let this whole thing dry. Because if I put the red in, it's just going to blend into everything I just did and ruin it. So hit the claws down here. These will be a little easier to see because they were almost uncovered. Looks like chicken feet. Buck. Notice this foot has 3 toes on it, and this one has 4. ChatGPT again. Can't do everything, but it can do some stuff. Way better than trying to find someone's original work and getting yelled at for ripping it off. No offense to anyone that is an artist that is pissy about ChatGPT taking all the work away. It is in many very important respects. But as a base to be able to launch off to make art from, I'm okay with it. To replace people, that's bullshit. Obviously. Get different colors. Silver can go in a couple spots. Maybe make it merge a little bit. I think it's probably time we grab someone's fire things going off. Let me get the heat gun out. Alright. Here we go, bending down. Try not to stretch out the shoulder. Got it. I love AI, greatest thing since computers. I think I think it's great. I think people are getting upset about it for very good reasons. Um, it's a discussion that has to happen, right? Because I mean, it's important to understand where these algorithms are getting their data from to train from. Um, if anything, it's the kind of thing that I don't know. I think it depends on what the training is, right? I think if it was a human training by learning off of someone else's work and then using that to guide their hand to make something totally new and different, I would agree with it if that's how it was being used. But the definition that they're using for AI training is literally taking someone else's work and then recreating something in the exact same style. And I feel that is ripping off because someone put in a lot of work to make that unique art style their own, and then someone can come along and replicate it. It's as exacting and as bad to steal as it would be to recreate somebody's signature to sign their checks, right? You just you don't do that. If there is a way to make it be like the intelligence of a child or the intelligence of a student who doesn't know anything but has a lust and a drive to want to learn the subject matter, and it trains it on things and it uses a percentage of it in a varying degree, I think it's tough. Like, it's great if you're like, okay, so if it's like a Renaissance painter, like someone from like who is long, long dead, and we've like gone beyond like I don't know what the phrase is for it. Kind of like when books become like open license and you no longer like are held to the original licensing, like Disney losing access to the original Mickey from Steamboat Willie, but they still have the current one. It's kind of like that, right? Once it ages out of the system, you can allow 100% of the training to be able to recreate that style. But I think anyone's work that is newer than that, there needs to be varying degrees of how much like that work it can be allowed to use, because you should be able to directly rip off someone else's style. That said, there should be versions of it that you can, that you pay for, that is just like Apple Music and Spotify and all of these other items where you find the original artist, and in order to utilize their work, you pay them, even if it's a small amount, you pay them to license their work to use it at that full scale, and that cost gets carried down to the consumer that wants to also utilize that same scale. The technology will be there for them if they're willing to pay for the work, the access to pay the people who made that work. And again, as time passes, as they die, as everything ages out of the system, their style can be made more open license after their death by X amount of years, whatever ends up being, agreed upon by everybody, right? Like there has to be rules. It's going to be shades of gray. It can't be 100% black, 100% white, because you're going to have people pissed on both sides of the equation, because you're literally taking someone's work and using it to recreate it. And I agree with it to a degree. There's got to be rules. There's got to be boundaries. So they're figuring that out. It's also fresh and new. It's something that's going to be bouncing back and forth for a while, and they'll figure it out. It's interesting. Now, what I love is being able to ask AI to make something, and it makes it. It just does it. Like, I adore that it's able to create something. May not always be great. It's going to get better as time goes on, but it's going to be something that's so useful. It's going to be so capable of being able to bridge that gap between us plebeians and the people that are able to make all of that stuff professionally. I don't know if it's ever going to need to be exactly replicating what people that are professionals can do, because we need human professionals that do the work to be able to make a living off of our need for their capabilities. You know what I mean? Like, if we make AI take up all of that, yes, it makes it more approachable for us, the common man who doesn't know how to find, let alone have the money to be able to pay every single artist in existence for every single art piece. I'd like some basic stuff to be accessible to me that I can do using a tool, It's tough. It's tough. We're moving to the future, and it brings up all kinds of new questions that you have to ask. Should we? Just because we've got the technology. You just don't have the same viewpoint at all. I don't like, and I don't mean it in like I almost never mean anything in a way that, like, when I have my view that I'm against anyone who has the opposite view, that would be stupid. I don't feel that way at all. I think everyone absolutely deserves their opinion. There are clearly some people in this world who talk too damn much, who shall not be named, who are in a political view and might just not be the kind of human qualities we need to see in people, that need to just not be so vocal anymore. But anyway, I'm going way off topic because, again, I hate politics. But it's so difficult. It does create opportunities, but it's going to get to the point where it gets really, really too good. Like, right now, it's in the 80 to 90% replication. It still doesn't have all of the logic, all of the style, all of the physics and the realism, and hey, why does that one person have 3 arms? It hasn't really stopped hallucinating yet. And it's going to get better. And I think it's fine. I don't want it to replace the need of people who already go and look for an artist and is going to pay them and commission them for a work. I don't want it to replace that, because that's going to hurt people. I think it's a great tool, and I think a ton of people who haven't been able to use art in that way are going to be able to use it. And it's opening people up to more possibilities, which I love. I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. right? Like, what if AI could crochet? You know, they make robots and all of a sudden they can crochet. And so everybody that wants to do that can never go on Etsy and get anything anymore because you just get a bunch of AI slop generated physical crochet that's been made. You know what I mean? Like, just pick any field and there's a way to be able to adopt AI into it to replace someone who's already doing that task. And I wish it was easy to be able to like free up people to be able to do whatever they want. It's just now if it's so if it's someone who is an artist who's using it as a tool because they already have skill and they're using it to help them, like to guide them in a direction, I think that's grand. Oh, machines already do crochet. I guess that's true, and they mass produce and make like big blankets and other things. I guess that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's too early to tell where it's going to go, right? It's not as easy to use as everybody thinks right now. It's getting easier and easier with each iteration. It's getting really, really dumbed down and really much more capable in a really, really short amount of time. And I have nothing against it at all. I also have nothing against the people who do the things that AI is being asked to do. It's weird when it comes to art. When it comes to almost everything else, hell yeah, I'm especially wide open to it. I use it for work sometimes. It's brilliant at like brainstorming ideas. You give it the base information and it figures out ways to use it in a way that you might not have thought of, or it gives you like that little hint, like if you bounce an idea off somebody and they say something and you take it like 5 times further than what it gave you, it's a good sounding board. That's what I'm looking for. um, but it's also great at like I use it for figuring out scripts when I need to as well. Like I know I need to do task ABC. What is the most efficient way and modern way to script it to do the thing that I'm asking it for? And it figures out a bunch of great options. And it doesn't always get it right on the first try. I have to iterate a couple times until I find it, but it helps create those things. And it documents each step and line of the process to show this is the step and it's going to do this. This is the second step and it's going to do this. So, and documenting your scripts is important, and it's doing it for you. And it's such a clean, more efficient, fast way to get through something that would have taken me hours or most of the day to create and feel accomplished at the end of the day. And instead, I can get it done in 30 minutes, and I retest it a couple times until I'm satisfied with the outcome, and I've read through it and I understand what it does. And it's teaching me how to do the thing that I was trying to figure out at the same time that it's making it much faster for me so I can move on to other things. So I appreciate the hell out of it for that. It's a standard photographer tool. I believe it. I think, I mean, using it as a tool is important. Using it to replace humans is where it gets dangerous, potentially. Not necessarily. It just, I mean, what happens to the people it usurps? Working with those people. I'm over talking it. I don't need to be. I don't mean to be. I was just kind of yammering about it. But it's definitely an amazing, amazing, amazing tool. I'm not going to stop using it. But at the same time, you know, so long as we consider it properly and manage it properly and don't give into it entirely, you know, always keep the upper hand over it. You know, I think it's the most important part. I mean, it's not like we're going to have, you know, oh, what do they call it? The bullshit thing from Terminator? Skynet? That's it, Skynet. It's not like we're going to have that. I mean, it could someday. It's not there yet. It's not an actual AI. It's like a language learning model or whatever they call it. It's smart at taking existing things and regurgitating them back to you in a cohesive way because you weren't able to do the research to figure it out on your own in the same amount of time. But it's not truly generating new ideas. I mean, it is in a way, and it's clearly going to get better at that, but it's not doing its own, like, what am I going to do today? Self, AI, personality that I am? I think maybe I'm going to make some art today. What kind of art am I going to make? I don't know. Nobody's prompted me to do anything. I'm just going to do it on my own. You know, like, it hasn't made it to AI technology yet, though everybody's calling it that. Someday it will, when they start making, all of these language models be the components of a brain, an artificial brain, and they link all of them together to do different tasks and error check off of each other. That's when it's going to get more real. I'm sure we'll get that before too long. Next year, probably. Who knows? Man, I'm over talking it. I'm sorry. He's gonna have some bright magenta claws. He painted his nails. Look at that. Oh, I think that's part of the flamey back beard. Is that what that would be? Well, it's a beard there. Where else it's just. I think it might be hair. It's really hard to tell. I'm gonna go with hair. It's a dragon. We're gonna go with, instead of scales, all the stuff, the flamey looking stuff coming off of his back and all that. We're just gonna say that that's hair. It doesn't disturb them if they harness it. Yeah, like, again, like, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to go against anyone who is a staunch supporter of AI. You appear to be as well, and I don't want to take away from that because I'm not. I agree, it's absolutely, genuinely amazing for a tool. It's so easy to let something super cool like that get away from us. Because the smarter we make it, the more it starts to do other things. Like, I'd love to sit here and ask, hey, AI tool, can you tell me how to make millions and millions and millions of dollars in a genuinely appropriate way that doesn't, make me turn into a bad person, but I'm able to make all kinds of money? Because, boy, I'd sure love for you to help me figure that out so I don't have to sit here and deal. Hasn't quite figured that out. Instead, it just spits out what everybody else is already doing. I'm like, can you give me something unique? Because the whole point of this is I need to do something that nobody else is doing so I can get in on it and make my money now, versus doing battle with a bunch of other people who are already in the market and trying to get it to do it. I mean, like, having an original thought is not quite its forte just yet. It will get there, but we'll see. That is a claw. There's a claw. Claw. Roar. Raw. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just like over here. There's 3 on this one, 4 on this one. 3 on this one, 4 on this one. Unless there's one like back behind here that I'm not seeing, but it's okay. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like the AI thing is amazing. I've seen some of the Photoshop stuff they can do where they can go through and get it to like truly generate something that's not there, like continuing a fence to a certain degree off the side of the page where there wasn't anything there before, like cutting out people and truly refilling and having it create what wasn't there before and making it look like it could actually have been that. Cool. Cool tech. Definitely the coolest thing we've come out with in the last, recent years for computing. Do I think it needs to pop up and be in everything? Oh my. Copilot this, Gemini that. It's becoming a part of everything, which is good if it can be made to have 100% accuracy. Someday. Someday very soon, I'm sure. It's just, I wish they had made it 100% accurate and foolproof before they start integrating it into our entire lives everywhere. I'm yammering about it way too much. Sorry. Whoa. Red Claw. White claw. Let's get drunk. Okay, so claws are done. Okay. We have some legs, we've got some claws, we got the belly. We don't have the face done. We don't have the back flamey bits on the back done. Because I haven't quite figured out what color I'm going to do for the... Don't be sorry, that's what you're supposed to do here. So many artists I know feel threatened by it. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't, because I'm nowhere near it. But people who went to school and like trained and doing it for 15 years, they might feel threatened by it. But the people that are going to use AI to get the art aren't always going to be the same people that would have just gone to that person to get the actual art commission from them. Like when it comes to businesses that are trying to save a buck, almost definitely they're going to replace them almost entirely across the board for a lot of things, for a lot of companies. But when it comes to like personal art, I mean, I don't think that's going to replace people. It's not good enough to do that yet anyway. Okay, so let's switch back to a bigger brush. And we got to figure out some of the other areas here. Inside of a mouth, we're probably going to go with our magenta, but we're going to thin it out a bit, I think. Do like a... It's way too dark still. Right there, little scrubby. I was thinking, let's see. Oh, wow. They are, for the most part, not techie. The artists I know who are more tech literate love it. Also, I somewhat believe that anyone who says they've never been influenced by anyone else is dishonest. Not necessarily lying, not on purpose, just not truthful. Anyone else's work. Oh, yeah. No, like, everyone who has been influenced by other people, I mean, that's how you learn and grow and get your own style, I imagine. Like, I don't think AI is like stealing people's style and like stealing their influence as much as it has a potential to be completely ripping it off. Like if you ask AI to make me fill in the blank art in the style of this person using these materials on this paper or canvas or whatever, and you iterate on it for a while, you can get it to look like it was made exactly like it was made by that person, though they might have been dead for 200 years. You know what I mean? So it's influence and copying are two different things. But at the same time, a well-known modern day artist can replicate a dead artist's style exactly, and people will tout it and love it. It's still being done in the style of Fill in the Blank person, and they probably say that when they're promoting their work as well, I would hope. I don't know. It's tough. I sure as hell can't speak for a bunch of people. I only know myself, and there's no way that I know enough to be able to be any sort of opinion or expert on any of this stuff. I guess this might be too thick of a brush. Let me switch to the thinner one. I don't know. It's wild. It's crazy. It's a very difficult topic. It's the kind of thing that people sit there and they'll yammer about on like a podcast or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, AI this, AI that." If I keep talking about it and nothing but it, I'll get bored. because it's so not important in the grand scheme of things to me. And I don't mean not important as in not good. I mean not important as in like not worth me talking about incessantly. Because I mean it's a tool. It gets used. It does things. People love it. I like it. I use it. Actually, just got asked the other day if we liked it and used it at work, and I do. And they are promoting letting us use it. So I'm thankful for that. Giving him black lips. Well, a black bottom lip. He's got a mustache, so he doesn't need an upper lip. There's a bunch of people having a cow because of the chibi filter. Oh, I saw people. Oh, yeah. Chibi or the I'm forgetting what it's called. The like Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke and all those that style. I know people are having a cow about that. And you know what's really funny about it? People are gonna have a cow about it and be really stupid about it, but it's like anything else in the world. It's a fad. It came out. It's a thing. It's gonna come, and everyone's gonna want to do it, and then it's gonna disappear, and the next new thing's gonna come along, and it's just gonna be one of the many possible things instead of just the one everybody's using. It'll disappear, and then it'll be like one person using it a year from now, and then people are like, "Wow, you're still using that? Ugh, how passe." You know, it's just people are silly. They want the next new thing, right? Well, those are teeth. I'm going to leave those teeth white because that's what they should be. I do realize I think the only thing I'm going to make a totally off the wall color in this is going to be his eyes. I want to do some kind of vibrant blue color, maybe, or maybe a yellow. Would it be weird if there's no yellow anywhere else in this on this dragon except that one eye right there? Would it be weird if it's just yellow with the rest of it not being yellow at all? Most of the time they make these eyes and they have them be like some component of the color of the creature. It is a high form of flattery. I think it starts becoming difficult when you're literally taking somebody's IP and copying it. That's when it starts getting difficult, right? So if I like replicated a Star Trek style starship exactly using AI, you know, it's fine because I'm doing it in the style of it. If I say create the USS Voyager from, you know, Star Trek Voyager to the T exactly as I'm asking for it, that's bad because you're replicating it exactly. If it's still for you, personal, and you're not sharing it with the world and making money from it, you're still probably fine. But then you go make money from it, and that's even worse. So, like, the tools are there to be able to potentially rip somebody off with very little effort. It just it makes the line thinner and a little bit blurrier and really easy to cross. Which, you know, if they do that, it just means that more and more people are going to get slammed with, you know, takedown notices and lawsuits and all that. And if they're going to use the tool and they're going to get hit because they didn't follow the rules, that's on them. Whoops. I mean, it was just hard before because unless you were an artist and you chose to actively create something, you put a lot of time and effort into it and you knew what you were doing. I mean, you're using a tool that's going to do it for you. I mean, all that difficulty level is taken away, and it makes it where children can use AI to make something, and with no boundaries, they may not realize what they're doing has legal ramifications, right? So it becomes really difficult to prevent the stuff that shouldn't happen versus the stuff that, wow, look at this amazing tool. I can make it do anything I want. I'm so thankful that it's in my life. It's so difficult to blur the line between what is and isn't right. I'm still yammering about it. I'm going to stop. Let's talk about the dragon. Come on. Let's do something else here. Okay, back to the eyeball. Um, if I wasn't going to do yellow, the one I was going to do that's not in here anywhere Um, this one. I think I might have used it in this, but if not, I like this sky blue one. I think I used just a touch of it, but it's not really obvious in here if it is. And I think it would be a nice, pretty, vibrant blue color. And it would be the only unique blue in here. It would be just that eyeball, so I might do this one. Let me do a tiny drop of that over here. Oh. 42, okay. You know, that blue might be interesting on the back of the hair. Maybe that might draw together. Let me just put a little more in here in case I end up using it. Let's do our tiny little eyeball. Just that pure blue color. That to nothing and just hit that with a little bit of water to finish it. And that just covered up the iris completely. Let's pick some of that up. Okay, maybe I'll stop with doing a little bit of it and a little bit not. Okay. What shall we do for the colors for his hair? That's pretty much all that's left is just his skin hair combo. On the face, the nose can maybe be black to match the lip, so I might do the nose, kind of like a dog, in a way. I'll do that. Do a really dark gray to start, and just the little nose and nostril area. I wonder what about these little whips that come off the whiskers. The two strong whiskers. Should they be a gray color as well? Maybe. Seems like his belly skin, his lip, his nose, all the areas that are fleshy bits coming off are some shade of black or gray. So I think it might be wise to keep it a darker gray, a gray shade as well, and let the hair and the scales on the back be what is the colorful parts of him. So let's lighten or darken this. I may have to stop talking soon. My throat has been getting kind of sore today. I don't know why. Allergies, could be anything, I don't know. But talking a lot is making it worse. Yeah. I want you to be a little green whisker. Yeah, you're gonna be a little green whisker. You're gonna go right there. That does not sound good right in your ear, I'm sure. All right. Teeth staying white, mouth is red, lips are black, whiskers are gray, nose is a in-between gray color. I think maybe I will do a little bit of the dark color just around the eye as well. Try to dry that up really well so that it's a drier color. Really make that dark color around the eye pop. And the other one can't truly be seen, but I'm going to do just a tiny little speck of it in the corner right there, and then we'll do colors for the eyebrow. Kind of like eyeshadow. Yeah, I like it. Maybe I'll just darken just the beginning of that right there, and then this little guy right here. Hmm. Well, I think we're at the point where I have to figure out what am I going to do about the hair. I knew it was going to be a difficulty to figure out what fade I want it to be. The only thing I can think of is some kind of blue, but my thought was, let's bring this back. I haven't really used the red except for on the claws and the mouth, but the red would look weird, I think, for hair, especially if he's supposed to be like electric. The red is supposed to be a small amount that's just popping in a couple spots. I don't want it to be the color of his hair, because that'll fully take away from his back. You won't even see it anymore, hardly. But there needs to be a color for the hair. I could make it black, because again, like the grayscale kind of counterpoints the color of his hide and the color of his abilities, his electrical powers. But I don't want it to be so black that it blends in with his nose, his mouth, his little claws. He does need a color that's him. So what are our options? So if I do... The irony is not lost on me here. Dragon's Blood? Here, Dragon's Blood is a bit too dark, but it would be interesting for tips. But I don't think it goes incredibly well for his hair. No, right? That doesn't work. No, and it doesn't even blend with the magenta. The magenta would be all off color and it wouldn't really work. So, no on that one. Hmm. And if I did blue, if I did this sky blue color, that's a totally different shade from anything on him. The only thing that matches that is his eyes. His one eye. And for the hair, that doesn't really make sense either, because it doesn't match any of his color at all. It wouldn't make sense. The only place that that color makes sense is in a very light amount, I think, in between like these sorts of things. So like up against that blue color, it would probably make sense to do like a hint of that color. You know what I mean? So like in between all the little lightning bolts, do like a very light amount of as like a glow effect, you know? But mostly white. So maybe I might preserve some of that for some around some of these effects here. But as the color of his hair, not so much. So I guess I may be leaning toward a black. As much as I wasn't expecting to, I might go a grayscale still. Maybe darker than what I'm already using here. Might have to do a black color like that. Yeah, I mean, that's hard. I don't want to screw him up, but I mean, I think black, like a dark gray, kind of works, but it's going to blend in with everything else I've already put on his face. If I could find a way to blend like the black and the blue. Well, I'll tell you what, no matter what, if I start with like a thinner gray color, I can always add an additional color to make like highlights in some way. That might end up being what I have to do. I don't have to do anything. I'm doing it because I want to, but it's likely that that's what I'm going to do. So let me clean that out, get my bigger brush, or I'm going to be here forever. Let's hit this. Do I want to touch up with just a tiny bit of the silver, maybe? Just a tiny bit? Well, that just makes it silver, like, immediately. Because the silver spreads like crazy. Let me add more of the black to that. And more clean water to it. Mix that up. What if we put some of the blue from his back in something like that? That's interesting. So would that be the tip? Or would that be the base of the hair? Probably the tip, like a highlight in a thinner amount, right? So if I do, oh, this is some hair, right? And then I go in with some of that pure blue color and dry it and just do just the tips, so that it's gray, but it starts to kind of blend into the rest of the hair. Okay, I think I'm going to go for it. But if I do that, then again, I guess the only point of that is that's going to be the only place I'm going to use that light blue. I'm not going to use it around the exterior of this at all. Because it's got to be kind of unique to him. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm yammering about it too much. I'm never going to do it if I don't start. So let me move this over here. All right. Let's get this started and just do it instead of complaining. I would call it complaining. Just I'm deciding. Oh, I forgot all about his horns right here. Those have to be unique. Start with a gray silver on that and then just progress. I love that he's got these horns. That's just so neat. It, blue, And try to hit just some of the tips. So tough to do because I'm not putting a tremendous amount of water on it, so it's not really staying wet. I may have to, whoops, pull that down a little bit. Oh, that was way too much. My comment. Something. That with some just water. He's turning way more blue in the hair than I expected, but you know what? Whatever. Is that really not making him have so much of a color? I feel like it's too dark or too light. I mean, excuse me. I feel like that doesn't give him enough color. You know, almost would have been smarter to leave that white. And think about that. It was too late now. I mean, I could probably pull back some of it. No, there's too much other color on top of it. It would be weird. But I can keep it kind of light like that, and maybe don't do the full amount. Maybe wet this ahead of time, and just add a tiny bit as I go. Just kind of scrub some of the gray into it, and then put like a tiny speck sometimes of the blue. But start with just making it wet, and don't really add a tremendous amount of this gray so that it's white with a hit of silver gray in it. You know? Yeah, just kind of hanging out. Mm. Excuse me. So tough. Is it possible I was just overthinking it? Yes. Probably the best thing I can do right here is just put a tiny splash of color on there and just shut the hell up. Yes. The more I sit here, the more tired I get. Because, you know. I think that's alright. I'm sure it needs something. It needs a lot of something, I'm sure. But for now, I think I want to stop messing with it. I think putting that little bit of that blue in there just then kind of gave it like a staticky, you got electrostatic kind of effect in a way. Kind of blended around those really big bolts. And then, you know, I can always come back to it and hit it again with something else when my brain can think of what that might be. But I'm at a point now where I think if I try to think of something else to add to it, it's probably going to take away from it. So I'm going to stop there with that. I think I'm going to stop for the day too because I'm tired. I'm tired. My tired is just, I'm getting tired. I want to figure out something else to do with his hair. It doesn't shine or darken or pop or add to his texture in any way, it almost makes him disappear, like the hair disappear into the background, because the background's kind of the same color as his hair. So I'll think about what to do with his hair. If anything, I may just end up darkening it. So we'll see. I think darkening it might be good. Maybe darken the lip, darken the whisker, darken the nose to make it truly black, and the under eye, and then go with a darker shade for the hair, so the hair becomes darker and more rich. That might be all I need, but I'll think about it next time. I think that's it. I'll come back to our other dragon friend, either next time I stream or soon. I'll figure out if I'm going to do something different, more abstract-y. If anything, I may do something abstract Monday with figuring out a palette for this guy, because that's something I never really do, is figure out palettes before I paint. Like, what colors am I planning on using or potentially using? I might want to do that to figure out what this guy's going to be, because he could be anything. If we're going to have a fairy in there, we need to figure out what colors we want the fairy to be as well, and I'll need to do a little research and find a fairy that we can put in here as well. So what palette is he going to be? We'll figure that out. Maybe he'll be a green dragon, maybe he'll be a gold dragon, maybe he'll be something else altogether. Something totally new. But regardless, this guy, love how he came out. I don't know if I'm going to do the same soap technique for this guy, because it's going to be hard to figure out what parts of that it'll be. And after figuring out the masking disaster from this, I'm probably going to be more focused and actually just paint with the brush on this one. So we'll see. I think I'll just intentionally make this one. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to stop. I think that's it for me. Guys, thank you so much, Goddess and Desert, if you're out there, for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Let me do all the things that you normally do, and maybe we can try to find someone to raid this time. Let me see. Let's see who's online. Thank you, guys. Anytime. Yeah, I think he's on his way, right? He's like 80%, but we got to find that last bit to really make him pop. And I don't know yet what that's going to be, but we'll figure it out. We'll think of something. It's probably a color we haven't thought about that would go in there really well. That'll help him really just explode off the page. Who's online? Let's see. Let's open up a new browser window. Bring it over here. And let's search for watercolor first. Things to random. Oh, that just sounds fun. Who's this? I don't know if that came through with all the music, but let's I just have to wait for the ad to get through so I can see. That looks neat. Yeah, let's raid this guy. Oh, darken the background. Oh, that's probably a really smart idea. If I want, well, if I do, it'll, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. We'll do it. This guy says that he watercolors. He's not right now, but I thought it was cute. Totally random person. This may have nothing to do with watercolor. Apparently he's done watercolor, but he's not right now, but it's cute and I like it. We'll see. Yeah. And he's got a few people. I like raiding people that only have a few people. So, all right, we are going to raid someone named Connor Pats. They are looks like a VTuber and a furry, which is fun. They're gay and they like to watercolor, but they're currently doing something in some sort of app. But we'll just head on over because finding new friends is fun. All right, have a great night. See you guys later. Bear out. Bye. Speed raid. Oh, maybe they don't accept raids. Yeah, we can find something else. What we got? Nobody else want watercoloring, really? Or whatever. We'll just end stream then. All right. See you guys later. Bye.